start looking at the cultural impact, which is very important, and it should be a part of our vulnerabilities. So, in terms of an urban interface fire, I can speak with back home on Siksika Nation. We have an area where we do our Sundance. If a fire was to impact that area, it would be devastating for our community because the Sundance has been in that area for as long as I can remember. So, if that was to be taken away, the cultural impact would be significant to your community. Indigenous Service Canada may not understand that because they don't know our native culture. They don't know the significance of why that is important. We have an annual powwow. Other peoples have annual powwows or ceremonies, different ceremonies across Alberta. And they're specific to areas, buildings. Take that away. How does that impact our culture? If we didn't have our powwow for 3 years, that would impact our community because we look forward to that powwow. We look forward to our relatives coming back to the nation and we visit. There's teepees there. We have different nations there that are visiting. This is how our First Nations, how we interact with each other. That vulnerability is very important. You take that away, it takes away our cultural identity. It takes away how we bring in people, how we communicate, how our community thrives during a time when mental health isn't there. Powwows will rebuild and strengthen that mental awareness, that mental breakdown that's happening. Could be addiction, could be anything. Our powwows will do that. Bring everyone together for celebration, to watch beautiful dancers, everything. And we talk and we visit and we just do what we do as First Nations. So when we talk about vulnerability, it's what happens if urban interface fire affects that? How do we look at it? So we got to start looking at planning. When we start talking to Indigenous Services Canada, say, look, we need money to fire smart our Sundance area. We could have priorities of what we're going to do for fire smarting with recognizing this here. We need to explain to them what that impact would look like. Then we start looking at vulnerable groups. I touched on it a little bit. So with an urban interface fire, it could affect your community where there's an evacuation now. Now you have, depending on your population, the ratio between elders, youth, and just adults, mom and dad. If you have a high percentage of elders, what does it look like to evacuate that vulnerable group? Because